was told not to speak about this, and honestly, it just makes me want to speak about this even more. And not because I want to talk crap or any of that kind of stuff. It's just life is really hard to just keep it all in and not share it. And to be honest, yes, this is my second divorce. Yes, I'm 25 years old, and I know that's embarrassing. Like, that sounds embarrassing. Like, oh, you must be the problem. Oh my gosh, 25 and your second divorce. Yes, I am going through another divorce, and I am going to speak about it. Not an issue.
Welcome to Pegasus versus the World, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and some travel. City boy. Anyways, let's dive into this. I thought this was an interesting story. I haven't heard her out yet, so I want to give her some grace, hear what she's talking about. I just saw that, my second divorce at 25, and that just seems wild in the sense of, one, we have to take accountability for our actions, right? That's men and women. But if you want to give someone a little grace, like, so if just at the top, I'm not trying to just roast this chick like these just is crazy dog like that. If I just want to give her some grace, slow the down. Slow down. Just slow down. Take this one day at a time. Like, you've been in two marriages. I'm just saying, at surface level, I don't know. I'm not criticizing. Not criticizing, just seeing that title. Just slow down a little bit. Just slow down. Just slow it down. I don't know we're going to get into the weeds of it, but I just saw that title. I was like, I want to hear this. And since I'm recording, I was like, let's hear it together, right? I'm not trying to shame no one or none of that, but I just thought that was a wild title. My second divorce at 25. And I believe she has kids, because that's how that got on my radar. So let's just hear this whole thing out. Esley, that's a very original name. Esley Coral Garcia. There you go. If you want to go follow her or check her stuff out on TikTok, go ahead. Go ahead. Let's just see where this goes. I'm very interested in this story just from the title. And if you guys rocking with me, like, share, comment, subscribe, link in the description to my other channels, and let's see what she's talking about.
Share the reasons specifically why. Because yes, the person does deserve privacy. But all I can say is that this is a very difficult time for me. This has been my lowest point ever. And I will never stay, even if I love a man. My kids will always come first, no matter what. I don't care. I don't care if we're married. And that decision that I made was really hard. It was like the hardest decision I had to make in my entire life. But I know that I made the right choice, because JoJo deserves the best. Isaiah deserves the best. And I will continue to do that always. Now,
okay, so she has two kids. The premise of this, I was always kind of taught, like, there's God, man is supposed to seek God, the woman's supposed to seek the man, and the children follow the woman, right? But being married, there's all these sacrifices we have to make as parents, where it's almost like the children get put in front of our needs and different things like that. So it's interesting looking back on that concept, because there was this question that went viral a few years ago where it was just a simple question. As a woman you're making a meal, who do you serve first? Your kids or your husband? Very simple question. But it was just like the question that went viral like a year ago, when it was like, women, would you choose a bear? Like, if you were lost in a forest by yourself and you only had two choices, would you pick a bear or a man? And it went viral because all the women were saying they would pick a bear because they felt like men were so dangerous. So, we have this disconnect I've noticed in the social climate, especially with men and women dynamics. But essentially, you have to protect your children and you have to put them first. I don't know the dynamic. I'm just going to hear her out, right? Like, did she have both her kids with her first husband, then get married to this next person with the kids? And then, sometimes it's hard to put, kids who aren't yours first or whatever, and so maybe there's some implications there. In one of my circles, one of these females I know got married, but she went into the marriage with a child of her own, and then the person she married had two children of his own, and then they had two children together. And I knew on the male side of things, he was kind of having issues with her child from her first inclination. And there's definitely barriers and challenges, with stuff like that. But I don't know the whole deets, so I'm a peep game and see where this goes.
It's not easy being a single mom again. And I say again because the first time I married, it backfired really fast, a week after to be exact, because cheaters will be cheaters, and unfortunately, or actually I would say thankfully, I got pregnant and I have my JoJo now. The only problem is that just because you get married, it doesn't mean everything will be solved for you or everything's gonna go great. Things don't always turn out the way you plan them to. And yeah, I got pregnant and I've been carrying the weight by myself with JoJo for the past, he's gonna be 4. Although in my second marriage, I did receive help for JoJo. I'm happy I have JoJo in my life because I don't have to go through this alone, but I am sad that I couldn't give JoJo a father figure. I am sad about it. I am. Now, Isaiah has a great father figure, and I'm so happy for that, but it's still unfortunate that I couldn't give both my children what they deserved. And there won't be a third. There won't be a third try. You know how they say, third time's the charm. No, I ain't doing that anymore. And I'm going to struggle for who knows how long until they're older and they're able to, be independent. But for now, I still have to continue to work very hard, and I still have to continue to be in this state co-parenting because that's where my second child was born and that's where his father is, and I have to stay here and I'm stuck regardless of my circumstances, and I have to constantly be trying to find new babysitters because they all quit. They all quit after like 2 weeks because I can't afford that much. So I'm constantly with fear that I might get.
I couldn't imagine being a single parent, if I'm just being honest. Like the relationship I have with my wife, and we're a team. And the grandparents had moved out. My dad's too old to watch our children. Like there could be he could have a health issue, and that would be you just But the grandparents on my wife's side, they're not here to help us, and when they are in town, they're such a relief. But us kind of taking on the brunt of watching our children, doing homeschool and stuff like that, I just couldn't imagine being a single parent, like especially with the sleep, bro. Like it is pretty wild. I don't know what is going on here. So it sounds like she had children with both husbands. And, it seems like the first one cheated on her. The second one, she's not going into the weeds with it, but she's kind of going through it. But it sounds like that one is there for their child and the other one isn't. Kids, whether male or female, they need a male and a female input. I watched this female, I don't know, she's like a scientist, doctor, psychiatrist, whatever, on the Diary of a CEO. And she put it really well. And she was breaking down the science that it doesn't have to be the biological father that always works best, but children need a male and a female input to grow normally, right? So if they don't have that, let's say they only have a female, let's say they only have a male, or they have two of the same um, gender or whatever, their their mind actually has to what's it called, adapt to the situation, because the human mind is made to have a male and a female input. And I was like, that's crazy work. Like anyway, so but the cool thing that she said in that podcast was it can be a grandfather, it could be an uncle, it could be a coach, but they need that male reinforcement. And earlier, like I always thought, oh, it doesn't, 2 years, three, when they're 3, that's when you're needed. They don't really need you. No, she was like talking about how malleable children are, and they're a sponge and they're a computer program, and it starts the moment they're born. So to get that male input immediately, she said the first 1,000 days are the most important for male input. Not just, yeah, you need the mother to feed them and nurture and do all that great stuff, but males are as valuable. So she's right in her thinking in the sense that she's like, I kind of dropped the ball on this because they do need that input. Um, I don't know where this is going. I thought it was a unique title. She seems pretty strong and she's pushing through in in comparison to a lot of the other TikToks we've seen. There's a lot of victim mindset. There's a lot of this, a lot of that. But at some capacity, she's like going through the fire, and I believe she's doing it like at least she's not like oh blah blah like she's just like look, this is just what it is. I think she's taking it on the chin. Pause.
Fired at my job because this past month I've been late twice because my babysitters are so unreliable and they just quit. And this is going to be my life for who knows how many years until my kids go into school. I don't know, but they're still very young, so that's still going to continue for a long time. And not just that, but I don't have my family here. Like, I miss my mom, I miss all of them, and they're in a different country. Like, there's nothing I can do about it because I'm co-parenting and I have to stay here. But I also can't have the support of my soon-to-be ex-husband because if we want to do it the correct way and co-parent the right way, I have to keep to myself and I have to do things on my own. And I can't ask his family for help because that's his family. And the minute I decide to divorce him, which I'm in the process of doing right now, I can't receive help from his family. And it's unfortunate for me because
She could receive help from the family. I mean, if everyone looks at the task at hand, which is raising good human beings, you put the children first, right? Now you can't be asking them to babysit so you can go on a date night. You know what I'm saying? But there's I mean, you got to balance it out. This is kind of an interesting story. And I'm wondering, is this happening a lot? Like, I just saw the title. I thought two divorces, two kids by the age 25 is, it seems like an extreme case, like maybe an outlier. But that's why I was like, hey, are y'all seeing this in society? I was just like, it makes like, girls having two baby dads by this age is common, but two marriages? Also, I'm just like, who'd she marry? Because typically women get half, and if she got a little something from each, I'm just like, damn, I don't know, man. I don't know what decisions were made, but this is definitely a unique story from what I'm seeing.
I'm the loneliest I've ever been.
Mm.
I'm at the lowest financially too. My car is gonna, I don't think my car will make it another winter here. It needs tires, it needs brakes, it needs a lot of things. And it's just a constant stress of thinking, shoot, are we gonna make it this month? Like, and then on top of that, like just feeling all the weight. Anyways, this page is only about positivity. And the reason why I speak like a lot of positive stuff is because I've heard this saying that if you speak positive thoughts, you will feel positive. So that's why I speak positive things all the time, not because I feel good right now or because I mean, I just try to trick my brain into thinking everything's okay when honestly, like, I'm not doing that okay. Every day I feel worried.
So the trick to what she's talking about, there's two tricks what she's talking about. I'm just speaking from lived experience. If you want to listen, you can listen. Take it for what it's worth. First, you got to embrace the darkness that she's in. You can't just talk positive out of it. You have to embrace it and see it and know what it is and then take accountability for it so you can change your actions. Then after that, you start doing the positive talk. But you have to feel it like it's almost like it's real. And then you have to take action. That's the biggest thing. Like, people always will think the positive talk but not take the action, right? So just depend on what she's doing. Maybe it's exercise, maybe it's eating healthy, maybe it's reading her kids a book for 10 minutes, whatever it is, taking that action towards that positive thing. And then you start gaining a powerful there's a powerful component. Things start shifting, things start moving. Like, it's true, there's power in words, thoughts, actions. But all these things have to be connected. You can't just speak it on TikTok and it's going to come to fruition. Now, she's an attractive young woman. I don't see how she stays in this rut, but seeing where she is, she shouldn't try to utilize a man to get out of this rut. And I think she realizes that. And that's where it's going to be hard because essentially it's not like, I don't know where we've gone in this society where it's so bad to want to be Cinderella. Like, what happened to just taking your time, meeting a good man, getting married and staying on lock dizzle. I mean, I get it. I don't know her background, like, you know, why her first husband cheated on her and stuff like that. I know that's not easy. I don't know the technicals, but you know, it's interesting because I do feel empathy for her, but at the same time, um, there's a lot here. And if you don't start changing your actions, this could get, I mean, she's already like, oh, I ain't having no more kids, this, that, and the other. And I don't necessarily think that's the answer either. I think, there were some actions and behaviors that got you in this situation, and maybe all of them aren't your fault, but trying to utilize your mistakes to navigate the next part of your life is going to be really important.
I feel stressed. And I know that there's bigger problems, like at least we're all alive and we're healthy, but it really is hard being a single mom again. But I know that at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it. And my kids will know that I chose them. And one day they're going to realize how hard I worked for them.
It's unfortunate because women say that, and not trying to. I don't know her situation. She's being very vague. But the sad part, this is the truth. Women always say, oh, my sons are going to know how hard I worked for them, this, that, and the other, which sometimes, sometimes. But the fact is, children who are missing a father figure, which it sounds like one of her sons is going to have a father figure and one isn't. Children that do not have a father figure in their life and raised by single mothers have different outcomes than kids who are raised with that single father, or actually raised in a two-parent household, and even the outcomes are different in just a single father household. I don't know why, but go look it up. The statistics are saying that. So understanding the importance of the men you bring into your life because of how it could affect your future and your children. I think that's the question here. I think this is a great story to look at the dating dynamic and understanding how one action, one choice can shift the dynamic of your whole life, your children's life, etc. And I think that's what's to be highlighted here, not like people are gonna dogpile her, or then there's gonna be all these women in her comments big up in her, you a baddie, you this, you got this, girl, blah blah blah. But all that shit is fake. So women big upping her for her behaviors and actions is fake, and men dogpiling and shaming is fake. It's like, what do you do to get out of these outcomes? What's the solution? And that's what I'm telling you. It's like watching someone's story like this and utilizing their mistakes so that you don't make the mistakes. And I know a lot of people that watch my channel are older, so this probably doesn't fit for you, but for like the younger audience and people watching, that's just facts.
And I also hope that they know how much I love them. So for that person who commented on my other post saying, like, oh, you left your second marriage because you were bored. That's not why I left.
Yeah, see, people get judgmental on the internet. You can't, the comments are dumb. I think she's pretty sincere and authentic here. And I don't think she's on the wrong path totally, but I do think like she's in this situation for a reason. And sometimes circumstance dictates, but you always have to take a step back and see your behaviors and stuff and switch it up when you're not getting the outcomes you want. That's just how life works, period. So like I'm not gonna shame or be like, oh, it's your fault, because I don't know whose fault it is. I don't know all the technical details, but what I will say is when you've done something more than one time, then you got to reassess. Like she's two times deep, so you got to reassess, recalibrate, and change it up if you want a different outcome.
That's funny. Yeah, I was just so bored that I left, and now I'm in this situation, and I keep choosing this situation just because I don't want to be bored. Trust me.
Yeah, she don't even come off like one of those females. Like for real. Females that are like, oh, I got bored, they be on some ratchet shit. She's at her job, dog. She's like a hard-working female, like trying to make it through as a single mother with kids. The chicks that be talking about, oh, I got bored in my relationship, so I left, they be the ratchet, like Botox lips, like you know what it is. So I never got that energy from her. And that's why I chose this video today too, because You know, a lot of times we get these surface level TikTok chicks, and she seems like she's really going through it.
I am still grateful at the end of the day for what I have, and I'm still grateful that to know that there's still a few people in my life who care about me, and I will continue to use this platform to vent because at the end of the day, it's mainly just strangers. It's a safe space, right? We can just vent, and no one really cares. I mean, except for the haters who come here and like talk crap to me, but whatever.
That's the other thing with this young generation. They're seeing things totally incorrect. It's not good to put all your information like this publicly. One day it can come back and embarrass you. Like, what if, see, she's in this space right now, but she could meet the man of her dreams, her third husband, that could be the, all these different things. And I don't know if this serves her online. Her new guy sees this or that, the other. And this is why she's putting it there because she's not depending on finding a new guy. But essentially, you can tell from what she's saying that she yearns for this completion at some capacity, which we all do because we're social creatures. No one wants to be alone, dog. Like that's just what it is. And she's gonna try to put that loneliness onto her kids in the sense of they'll fill that void. But there is nothing like having a solid, intimate relationship with a lover. It's just what it is. Loving a child's different. It's actually can be deeper than that intimate relationship with your significant other. But there's still something about having a significant other. And I personally would just be like, hey, you putting all your info on TikTok is wild. You putting all your stuff in the public, I don't know. I'm not saying it's the worst thing. I've seen way more dumb stuff on TikTok and ratchet stuff, and I don't think she's being that. I think she's really being vulnerable. She's opening up, and sometimes that does make you stronger. But there are barriers to entry and dangers about opening up too much on social media, right? Especially with these type of things. You know, you're talking about your two divorces, your this, that, and the other, and that's just my opinion.
Um, I don't I don't have to stay silent about all this. This is my journey and I will speak on it. And my married days are over. I don't have to stay silent anymore. If there's some truth that I want to share and it's my journey, I'm going to share it. And it is what it is. So if any of this makes you uncomfortable, then just exit out my page. Don't look at my stuff. That's how I feel today, and hopefully tomorrow's a better day. Um,
And that's the thing, women with emotions, like it goes from day to day. And not saying men aren't emotional. There's a lot of emotional men too. We're supposed to be creatures of logic in comparison to the females, but men be moving with emotion, and we all have emotions, period. But what I will say is like super contradictory for her. She's talking about being positive, right? And moving in a positive motion, but then she's taking her lived experience and putting a negative connotation on marriage or being in a relationship of that form, and that's not going to serve her, right? That's what we talk about when you're like, oh, someone has baggage and bringing baggage to the relationship and stuff like that. Essentially, when therapy, therapists are always trying to get you to let go of these traumatizing things and the baggage so you can move forward. So, like, that's going to be the helpful hint for her, right? Is like trying to really embrace the situation, understand what she's going through, let go of it, and then learn how to navigate properly for the next person. If she don't want to date, if she, but she's in here upset. She doesn't want this to happen. Meaning she's showing signs that I would love to be with a good dude, you know? And I'm not mad at her for that, but again, these choices are being made. And again, this is super vague. So like it's easy just to pile on and be like, oh, she's making bad decisions, da 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 da, which, she's definitely made. There's no way you get in this situation and you didn't make one bad decision, right? Whether it's even from vetting the type of guy you were attracted to, right? The cheater or whatever. But again, there's a nuance there to, you know, blaming blaming someone like, oh, it's her fault that he cheated on her is crazy. That's crazy talk, right? But that's why it's so important for women to understand the vetting process. Like if you don't want to get a cheater, then there's a vetting process to that. And a lot of times, I said this in another video, but you're seeing this where a lot of times women will pass up the good guy they should have been with for the cheater. It's just one of the things you see. And now, anyways, look at me trying to be a life coach. I just think these are interesting things to talk about and assess. And I would like to think about them because I'm raising two daughters and I want to help them get to the finish line of, hopefully having a happy life and a genuine, relationship. But I ain't letting my daughter go out like that. Like she ain't going out like that, dog. I'm gonna be. I just it ain't. I don't know what it is, but it ain't happening. It just ain't. It's not. I don't ever want to see my daughter on TikTok acting ratchet, and I don't want her in the on TikTok talking like this, or I want to do what I can to shield her from the nonsense, not be total shelter. They got to learn, but I think my job is to try to help vet some of the nonsense. We'll see if I'm successful. It was all a dream.
City boy, city boy.